Yo, it's DaBLackKing, and welcome back, or, and welcome back, one and all, to DaBLackKing Plays Command and Conquer Red Alert Retaliation. Now, on this episode, I intend to finish this up because there's not a whole lot to do in this episode. But before we continue on, there's the whole matter of, well, I'll be right back. Like I said, they're getting ready to mount an attack on us, so let's take it. Now, this is the reason why you can't send a spy in. Those dogs right there would immediately attack. Tanks won't notice them, soldiers won't notice them, but the dog will. So, even if you wanted to send in the spies, you could send them in there and whatever after the fact that you eliminate them. And even though I hate to be cruel against dogs, but, you know, there you are. That's just the way this game is because it's war. And they train dogs anyway to go against the enemy, so we are the enemy. And this little turd knocker right here can inflict electricity towards enemies. Do not ask me how, because even I don't know how they do that. I just know that it's only on the enemy side. Now this, even though it says enemy vehicle, it's one of those trucks that needs to be destroyed. Unfortunately for us, though, I mean, just like down here, fortunately for us, we won't have to worry about them getting away. So, what we're going to do is, in order for us to take out these guys, we got to take out the defenses. A lot of that requires us to build a little way just down here because we kind of have to in order to do this. By that I mean we have to go, and we can still have things too, but we'll have to go all the way down here and get rid of some of these little deals down here, because it pretty much once you're at this point, the convoy trucks don't move. I mean, they'll eventually attempt to move, but you know. So our main goal right now is to get down here, even though we're going to be fighting some forces down here too. And because, well, here's a clue for you. Mainly because, also, this is the only time you'll ever see the enemy, when they build their own sub pin, or rather, their own big, we call it boat deal. But their boat deal is subs. That's the way it is. So, and what it is they've got, well, the first kind is more like a defensive purpose kind of sub, and they are just as dangerous as a regular one. The only difference is that the normal ones can be a little bit more powerful because they can immediately attack. They don't attack automatically that I've seen so far, but the defensive ones will attack automatically on their own. So yeah, we're gonna be having some heavy heated fire, so we're gonna have to build up fast when we get down here. Our defenses up here won't do us much good, but at least we'll be able to take out their defenses so we can take down their base. Because that's exactly what it says. A Soviet convoy of sarin nerve gas has stopped at a riverside outpost for refueling. This is a perfect opportunity to destroy the sarin shipment and remove the Soviets' threat in the area. Use your forces to destroy the convoy trucks and the base. It is imperative that none of the convoy trucks escape. The Soviets keep their convoy information in their radar center. If a spy were to infiltrate the facility, it may help us locate the convoy escape routes. Pfft. Yeah, that's more like a death trap. Don't believe that because, I mean, well, it's basically if they could, but unfortunately, like I said, you see that right there? It, unfortunately, is this right here. I could easily have sent a spy through. There's no dogs over here. I could have sworn they had a dog kennel. I know that they always have one. Somewhere up in this joint. But it appears to be not so. Well, not this round anyway. I know that they've had one. Maybe it got destroyed. Or they sold it. Amazing. Oh no, wait a minute. Never mind. I see it now. It's right here. I could have sworn they had dogs up in there. But I know that they do send out dogs too. So, anyway. You might be wondering why I'm building another one. Well, you don't always have to do this for every time you play through it, but it actually helps out because you can actually get a lot done when you do that. But you also want to make sure there are two places that you block off from your trucks, because if you don't, they'll be taken out, and yeah, you won't be able to successfully get through. So, what you want to do, I'm gonna go ahead and plant this one here. Yeah, because they always ask for those eventually. What this does ultimately is allow you to have more money in your cash cow. At a certain point, it will stop. So there's that. And make sure that your game doesn't do that. And you might be wondering why I'm doing that. It's because I'm trying to keep them out of going over there, even though that there's actual resources on the other side, like over here. Yeah, because we don't need the extra stuff. That's why I'm selling that off as well. So, you know, it might be yielding me so little to get it back, but it's also costing me so little to get it out, so it doesn't really matter. So it doesn't really matter anyway. Now, that might halt money for a while, but it's fine. And let it regrow. No big deal. See, there we go again. Silos needed. Ironically, I couldn't remember if I had already built this structure or not. And all this does is put you as an icon on the map, so that it's not like they don't know where you're at specifically when they find you. It's like they know that you're, like, I think you're in a different location, but split up in forces or whatever the case may be. Either way, you've established yourself a place, so just like them. I hate hurting citizens, but yeah, you know, they're not on our side anyway right now. So, as you can tell, there's some things missing. Well, we'll be to get more access to that in another mission, probably. I don't know when. And most of the time, you're going to want to ignore it when it says silos needed, because you don't need to have as many, because there is actually a limit cap of how many things you can actually have out here. Because, believe it or not, the main purpose is not to have ore silos constantly. It's just to have what you can for defenses, no matter whether you're in campaign mode or you're in, and if you want access to full access at any time you want to everything in there, well, other than the things that you're going to be missing, obviously, because they are, I'm guessing they're unlockable once you've beaten the game. I don't know, I've never beaten the game, so don't ask me. Anyway, you want to go to the other mode, which is, like I said, survival mode, or skirmish as they call it in this mode. This is also like surviving as well, except that when you think about the outcome, it's more like you're surviving against one team versus the others, and these guys are just as powerful as three AIs, even if they are people that have the same amount of forces that you might have. Let's say you're the allies. Well, and then you got the allies that are coming against you. That's all there is. Even though they have different country names, all the setup is about the same. There are certain amenities, but where they kind of limit some things. But other than that, there's not really much difference. It's a good idea to make more than one of these. I would recommend up to at least 4 of these ore refineries. But I would also recommend that if you're just going to play this normally, just all the way through, you're still going to want to take your time, because it's going to take a while anyway to get through this. Try to build up your forces. And you want to try to do what you can to block up the enemy and try to block up your trucks from getting in there. At least until you have had a chance to nullify the enemy down as much as you can before you start going in after resources and stuff that, unless you just want to bypass that. And anyway, I recommend 1 to 2 ore refineries just to get you started. But the very first thing you're going to want to do after you build your construction bay, whatever it's called, is you're going to have to build an ore refinery. or excuse me, after you build a plant, whatever, as it always is. It always has you do. Then, as you gradually build up, you'll want to build up more and do as much as you can in defenses and do the almighty, well, basically doing this. Let's see where I can put this at. Yeah, okay. And you might notice something as well is that, see, with mines, unlike these turrets and stuff, soldiers can mostly get through, but they will have a problem because they'll be shot down. Enemy soldiers, and but when it comes to mines, they can stop tanks and anything out there, any kind of vehicle-related things. They cannot. They can even stop your own troops, but they can't attack your troops. So basically, you can make an entire wall, and your troops wouldn't even go over, but they won't get killed either, unless you force them to actually. Well, not force them, unless you glitch the game, which I'm not about to do. I wouldn't even know how to do that. Don't want to, but I know any game can be glitched. But you can also destroy them on your own. Now, see, the enemy can destroy mines too if they can detect them, which is a very rarity. But other than that, they don't even know that they're there until it's too late. So pretty much, you're safe once you have some. They pretty much start you off with some mines, at least in this level. And as far as I can tell from what I can gather, this is the very first level. I don't know, but especially gathering from the cutscene, because it says something about nerve gas, and especially with the cutscene when it talks about taking these guys out and everything. So yeah, and the second mission, third mission to the fourth, it's kind of hard to say, but I would say that the last one I'm gonna say is one that, well, we'll go over that later. The last to the next will be one that'll be to do with evacuation. Like I said before, you can do these missions in any order, you want to. It doesn't affect anything. It won't even make the difficulty go up any higher or any lower. It'll be the same no matter which way you do this. But be advised that it may seem that way, that it's more higher or easier because of what you're doing in the game in order to do it. But in other words, if you're able to pull it off quickly enough, which I guarantee is not going to be something that's going to be, as successful as you might think. Unless you're absolutely super lucky, or you've found a cheat code that lets the, fast build. Because there is fast build, which does not affect the enemy whatsoever. Because the enemy pretty much has its own fast build. But it's a little bit more slower than the cheat code itself. Believe it or not. It's sort of a medium fast speed. But if you're doing this in survival mode or skirmish mode, the amount of speed is about the same amount yours is. Most of the time, they will be pretty much more advanced than you are. The more stuff you, maybe more ore you get, if I can even speak. So pretty much that's this game in a nutshell. And as far as anything else goes, we'll go more of it as we go along, especially what we're about to face. which I should advise you is not in every level. But, you know, there is that. Yeah, I know I'm working on it. What you want to do is you want to make sure that the silos are not on your ore field, because then it stops them from doing that. And you want to make sure that if you do put anything in your ore field, you want to put it around it, not in it, because then it just slows the process of you getting any more. You know, I've seen that, especially with the enemy. Now, I have done that, but not all the time. I try not to make it a habit, but the best strategy, especially if you're going to take the enemy out, and you know, it's just kind of make yourself, or not, you know, make sure it's like whatever you have, whatever side you're on, depending on what your playing is or whatever you got for defenses, like this and that and Teslas or whatever you got. Yeah, I would recommend you just put them around it. Do not put them in the field. It's not a good idea unless you just want to, and then that's fine. But normally, I would not do that if you just want to play the game normally. Now, I do know that you actually have to most of the time go to the field, but what you want to do is you want to, as soon as you can get one around the outside of the perimeter, which you'll probably have to do that anyway. I realize that, you know, but you know, you want to go ahead and sell that off so that there's enough room to do that, to do all the ore you need. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to make it. This is a very long process, by the way. Can be. And yes, you need to put your fences around pretty much a lot of your base. It might take you a while, but it really is. It's going to take a while. That's because it is. It's going to take a while. That's what I mean with that. So, anyway. As you can tell, it keeps saying, oh, a silo is needed. Well, I'm ignoring it for a reason. In case you're wondering why I'm not always making ore silos. Shut up. Now, I would turn it off, but there's no option to actually just turn that off and just like listen out for the enemy. All you can do is basically completely turn off the sound. That's not really good. Again, the reason why I'm not talking is because I'm trying to concentrate and make sure that I get everything done here. Because it can be hard to do and try to concentrate. It's not that it's not hard. It's not that it's not easy to kind of talk while I'm. Just depends on all I'm doing. Well, that's not good, but oh well. sad but unfortunate. But once the game presents a citizen as an enemy, and yeah, these citizens actually have weapons. Any normal citizen would not have weapons. So, but unfortunately, even the citizens that join us on our side have weapons as well. They're all about the same, except there's a difference. Once they're on the ones that are on our side, the enemy's gonna attack them. Don't care. You wouldn't think that would be red, but oh well. In other words, it goes beyond their maximum limit of how much they can dump into their little factory. These little trucks, because there are limits. And, and I'm going to do this because I don't normally do this all the time. Heck, I don't even know. I'll always put 4, 2, or little old 3 ore refineries. I put as much as I feel like doing or remembering what I want to put in there. There's all kinds of strategies you can use in this kind of game, but you have the ultimate goal you want to do in the end is you want to make sure that your base is well defended, and while you're trying to protect your base quickly enough, you have to make sure, because this is kind of like a timed event. You want to come down here and put down as much as you can of that, and take your tanks and take out the bridges and stuff like that, all while you're trying to build up your defenses far before you even think about putting any more ore refineries out and stuff. That's what you want to mainly focus on, especially because it's going to take a while before you even have enough to do anymore. That's another reason why this is completely optional and you don't have to do that. So, I hope you are enjoying this video, despite the lack of commentary, which I apologize for, but yeah. As you can see, at this point, we no longer need the mines. Another reason why you put minefields is because you won't be able to even get up to this point yet. Again, unless you get fast build speed or fast build for your place and enough money. So yeah, but you don't get to start out with enough money. You have to kind of build it. You can do that in skirmish mode. Anyway, so let's go on. And also, because you won't be able to be fast enough to actually get down here unless, again, fast speed for your building is on, which is not a very easy enough code to remember, let alone put in here. So what we want to do here, and this is my first time actually doing this kind of little strategy here, but I mostly have like more than just like this kind of box. There's a camel pelt box. They all about do the same, except the camel is kind of hidden. They will detect it though as soon as you fire. Well, not you, but as soon as your camel box does fire. So even though it's short for camouflage, that's what it is. And then I have also, because you look, camo pillbox, and the turret, which you know, and the prices are always random, no matter what, uh, you know, mode you're in. So, sometimes they're all the same. Sometimes they have, like, this is 400, just like this one is, 300, something like that. And even the tanks, everything is always shuffled around. They have a random percentage chance to change. Sometimes they are the same, but then there's not always that. So either way, right now our trucks cannot get past. They will be stopping at some point, which is fine. Again, because we really don't need them to do any more than they're already doing. But we do need them to have enough in order for us to basically get to this. I hope we can get this done in this video. I don't know yet. Like I said, worry about other things first, even before you put out ore silos. Do not try to put anything else, because you will regret that. Like I said, there are many strategies, but again, the very first thing you should obviously do is try to. You always want to do is the strategy is to get, when you first start out, make sure that your base is a little bit protected, because it's going to have to do for a little bit. Take this guy, your mine layer. We don't need him right at the moment. Take him down, have him selected, obviously, which is your X button. Have him go down here, laying in a bunch of, minefields. You can also have him go back and forth between up and there. But if you play your cards right, you won't need to do that. You just, because this right here is pretty much covered. And all at the same time, make sure that you also get to a point that you actually get this belt before all things else. Do not you know, you want to make sure that you have at least a tank. If not, make sure you have a work factory and do. And while you're at it, make sure you get at least these things built out. Do not build this yet, you know. And then you want to go ahead and basically take out the bridges, like I said before. You know, I see that finally stopped. Okay, that's good. That's fine. Have one or at least a couple of them. You'll have to obviously, since um one bridge will have a way for you to automatically destroy it without you having to use the L1 and R1 buttons, which you'll have to hold down at the same time when you have them aim at the bridge. You know, ultimately, you want to also have to, all the X's have to be blocked as well, because otherwise they will escape one way or the other. So right now we're pretty good on that. But yeah, there's a bridge up here you want to focus on, because this bridge up here, there is an easy enough way that you don't have to do that, because otherwise it's a little bit tough, and you'll have to, all you have to do is with that is just basically use one tank, and you should be fine. You could alternatively, if you can make it in time, with enough, turrets or whatever, or pillboxes, or whatever you want to call these. What are they called again? Yeah, pillbox. Have that destroy that, and it should automatically destroy this, because that's what you want to do as well, ultimately. Stop one part of their protection. It'll have to leave them with no choice but to go towards your defense, even though that defense can be overridden if you don't have enough blocking their way from going out this way. Because believe it or not, there's exits this way. Where they're at, there is no exit way unless they somehow, which I've never seen in my entire life. It'll be the first time it ever happened, anyway. I've ever played this, that they actually build a way for them to get off there. And they never do that. I'll go over that a little bit here, what they would have to build, because even we get it, which I know doesn't make sense. I think we do anyway. Well, if not, I'll just tell you anyway. They're called transports, and what it is that those are more evident in another level, but we'll go more over that later. And if you're running low on resources, which is what I'm about to do, just let it build. Let take your time. Don't worry. Let it build. I should also tell you that when a lot of times they will be sending in like reinforcements, which we do get them too, but we don't not in every level. Like, in other words, they'll have like a plane that drops soldiers. They don't drop tanks, which is not something in this game. Anyway, they'll be dropping around here and there. Sometimes it doesn't always happen, but it happens a little bit later too. In the level, as you progress to this level, like when you build up your defenses and stuff, getting through them, or get to the point where you can finally get through them even further than you have. But either way, let's get on to it. Now, we should be able to do this. It's not that we can't build it, we didn't have a way to plant it. Because this actually requires, just like the sub pin, it has to have water. That's where it's a basic, even though it's called the Navy Yard, which builds us ships that are on the water. So, and what's going to happen is we're going to get attacked. So, hang on a minute. You also want to put this where your ships will come out because otherwise they'll get trapped. You'll have to sell this and it's not going to be good. So, yep, there's the first one. Oh, here it is. There it is. We have enough gold or cash. It's unfortunate, but that's all we get right now is that. Yeah, that's basically the only way to heal up your ships, your subs is going. See, if you have a sub, which obviously you have to have a sub pin in order to get one in this game, you can take a sub and put it up to here and it'll heal it. So yeah, I don't think mechanics in this game will heal them. Basically, but it's repairing them like they do everything else. You know, but with tanks and stuff, they have to go under here, get filled up with the servo teapot, which also automatically refills this guy. So right now we don't need him refilled. It wouldn't matter if he was. Uh, so and then for soldiers, you want to get a mid, and I believe we do get that. Actually, we do. So we could go ahead and train one, which won't make a difference. We could also train some engineers to take over buildings, but it won't make much difference because we don't need to in this level. There's not anything to take over. Uh, but we can take over it anyway just to get a few things that we would normally have. Now, that's not including getting like subs and stuff. You know, there's no way to take over a sub pin. Believe it or not, it's just like when it comes to dog kennels, you can't take over them. But, however, once you take this out, you can take this on. I don't know if it's available in this level or not, but for the sub pin. But I do know that once you take over it, you can actually build what they have. The only thing you cannot, uh, like, okay, once you get the helicopter thing, which I've tried to show you before, you won't have theirs unless they build it first. And what you have to do is you have to take an engineer, or not an 8 engineer. I'm sorry. It takes about 4, or no, 3. But you want 4 because the 4th one will automatically repair it for free, so that you don't have to waste any gold on it, and that's what you want to do. I've done that so many times in skirmish mode, and it's pretty fun that way. Yeah, see, we get a bunch of heat that way. So next time, on the here, I'm just gonna split this up again. I'm sorry about this, but yeah. Let's see here. As you can see, we can't get very far, and we don't have a whole lot of room here. But yeah, so and at this point, we're gonna want to build up a fleet enough to get through there. You don't want any boats taken out, and even though that you get quite, if you can have like a whole bunch more, and they'll get taken out, but that's fine. It's their sacrifices are not in vain. It's not really something that should happen, but it's going to happen anyway. I'll be right back after these messages. Okay, we're back, and I'm going to go ahead and just like build this up here because that's what you want to do. Is you want to build this up, and I'm going to build up one more boat, and then next time we'll finish up building up, and then we'll take down their base in the next episode. And basically, yeah, I hate to really to split this up, but yeah. Before I go, just make sure that you actually have enough space because otherwise your boats will get trapped. That's not what you want to do. There are, however, bigger places where we will be able to do more, especially in campaign mode, which we will go over that when the time comes. Unfortunately, it's not right away, and I'm not trying to spoil too much into it, but you'll see what I'm talking about. Anyway, later. Oh, by the way, this is being recorded and will be uploaded on the same day, Monday, February 3rd. Bye bye.